Zach is back with a Hulu original review. So we have another Into the Dark movie. I'm so excited, you guys. Today I'm reviewing Good Boy, and most of these Into the Dark movies / episodes are based on a holiday. To be honest with you guys, I have no clue what holiday this movie's supposed to be based off of. I have no clue, but who cares? Let's just dive into the story and talk about the story. We meet our main character, Maggie, who is played by Judy Greer. I actually have no recollection of what movies Judy Greer has been in. I think the only one I can remember is actually the new remake of Halloween. But other than that, I don't remember her from anything else. But Judy plays her main character, Maggie, who is a journalist at a local news station, or company, or something. And she's having a lot of trouble finding happiness in life. Yeah, you guys, her dating scene sucks. She's reduced from staff to freelance journalist, meaning that the only way she makes money is off a commission, which is a little more stressful. She wants to make a family, but she's 39 years old and can't find the right dude for the job, so that's an issue. And she's also getting into that infertility stage, because, you know, when you start hitting your 40s and stuff like that and you haven't had children yet, you know, it starts getting kind of difficult. So to put it gently, her life is just not going so well. One of our good friends suggests, hey, you know, I know your life is burning and everything that you hoped and dreamed for is crashing to the floor. Why don't you go ahead and adopt an emotional support dog at the pound? I don't know why chicks do stuff like that. Just adopting a dog is not the way to go when your life is crashing. But anyways, let's get on to the story. When she goes to the pound and she's looking through all the different dogs and everything like that, all of them are snarling, big, nasty creatures. But out of all the big, scary dogs, she finds this cute little black and white dog that's just an angel and never barks and everything like that. She instantly falls in love with him and takes him home. And he's so cute and he's so kind, and he jumped on the table and ate her Reuben sandwich, and she names him Reuben afterwards. Oh, how nice. But it just so happens that this dog is either some demon monster. They don't really get into that, but basically it's a big nasty creature that kills anybody who threatens Maggie. And that includes anything that stresses her out. And that's basically the gist of the story. It's basically an overprotective monster dog that will kill anybody that stresses her out. And she's a very stressed out person, so that, you know, that's not going to go well. I'm trying to keep this review short, you guys, because there's not a lot to talk about when it comes to this movie Good Boy. In my personal opinion, this episode is just lukewarm. It's alright. It is like eating crackers and cheese. It's something that you can do. Not the good cheese, by the way. Just some like cheddar or, you know, white American cheese. It's just bland. It's just kind of bland from start to finish. There's nothing, you know, horrible about it. But there's also nothing that, like, really boops it up into, you know, an awesome movie by any means. So it's just very, like, blah. Let me go ahead and start with the positives. The actor Judy Greer is actually very good in this movie. She plays the character very melancholy, you know, and she's, like, kind of happy, but you can also see the depression underneath. She plays it very well. The acting is there. I cannot say anything bad about the acting. I mean, it's exactly what she was going for. I mean, she went in there going like, I'm going for a melancholy kind of sad chick that also has, like, kind of a happy spurts about her, you know. And that's exactly what you got. She did perfectly, you know, bravo to her, good acting finally. But just like in every other Into the Dark movie, the problem is not usually the acting. I mean, some of it is. I'm not gonna lie about that. There's some bad acting in these movies, but it's not the acting in this thing. It's not the animations. It's not the monster. It's the freaking writing in the episode / movie. That's usually the problem, and it's the plot problem in this. I get that this movie's supposed to be campy, and it's not supposed to be, like, taken super seriously, but the tone of the movie is very serious, and when you get into it, like, a serious realm, a certain serious point, you have to have certain character development moments, and certain things that make you think about the character, and kind of, how would you say it? You just gotta get me a little bit more to chew on than just, she's just a depressed woman that's just kind of sad. You know, it's like, they talk about her wanting to be a mom. They never go with that. You know, they talk about how her job, they kind of go a little bit with that, but they never really get into what's actually making this character sad. You know what I mean? It's just that her life is just not doing so well at the moment. You know, like, what is she striving for? What does she really want? You know, like, what does she actually want in her family, and why does she want a kid, and what type of person she's looking for? Like, they never explain anything like that. It's just kind of like, oh, she kind of wants a boyfriend because she wants a kid, and her job kind of sucks. Like, that's not much to go off of a main character, in my opinion. I'll give you another pro towards this movie is the monster. I actually really like Ruben as a monster, because I don't know a lot of horror movies where they base, like, a dog as the creature that's killing people. The only one that I can, like, recall off the top of my head is Cujo. I just find that Ruben is the most interesting part, because you're trying to think, like, okay, I know this, like, 10-pound dog is not going around chomping people. So you're trying to figure out what the freak he is. You know, you're like, what is this thing that is killing everybody? And the fact that you're kind of thinking, like, okay, he defends her, so he does like our main character, Maggie. He's not, like, out to kill her. He's trying to protect her somehow. So there's just some answers that you want. You have questions in your head that you want answered. That's always good in a movie, and it makes you, it piques your interest. Makes the audience pique their interest. It makes them ask questions. That's always good. You want your audience to be asking questions, and you want to answer some of those questions. That's just bravo, good job, good monster. Also, personally, what I enjoyed, and I know it will kind of piss some people off, but a lot of the deaths in this movie are happening off camera. So you don't actually get to see the deaths. And it kind of reminds me of Jaws, where, like, most of the deaths until the end is all kind of happening in, like, murky water. You don't really get to see the shark. You see glimpses of the shark, but you only see the aftermath of what happens. And I like that. It makes your imagination run wild. And I'm not used to that in these newer movies, horror movies. They're always trying to show the monster and shove them in your face and stuff like that. Sometimes I like using my own imagination, and it's actually scarier that way. So bravo to them for doing that. They kind of went back into the old school handbook. I like it. The problem is about Ruben is when he's not going off killing people, which is, 10% of the time. The other, like, 90% of him being on screen is him just being a dog. Just kind of sitting there next to Maggie, acting like a dog. So during this time before these killings are going on, the atmosphere doesn't feel very scary. It doesn't feel like a horror movie at all, actually. It feels almost like a rom-com, the atmosphere in the movie. It's really strange. And the music that they play, it's all whack. Nothing's right. Nothing's correct for a horror movie. It just doesn't help build the tension of this monster killing people when the monster is just not really building any tension. He's just kind of sitting there looking like a cute dog. It's, like, not very scary. There's a couple of moments where he, like, growls at Maggie and stuff like that, and he sounds like a bigger dog for a second. But other than these kind of cheap little jumps or whatever every once in a while, he doesn't have this intense feel to him that he's supposed to 90% of the time. So you're just kind of sitting there going, like, okay, this dog, I know he's a killer and everything like that, but he just doesn't feel that way. You know what I mean? There's no tension before the kills, and you kind of need that when it comes to a horror movie. Another reason why this movie isn't scary at all is the fact that Ruben is not trying to kill Maggie. He's protecting Maggie. And Maggie is the only nice character in this entire movie. Everybody else is kind of just expendable. That's the only word I can describe them. None of them really have any character development. You don't get to know any of them. You don't really care about anybody. Everyone else is kind of a crash test dummy, ready to be slain by the beast. So when the main character is the only one that you like, and there's no threat to her, then you're kind of just sitting there going, well, I don't care if anyone else dies or not. Like, who cares? And even some of these crash test dummies are actually, like, seriously made to be slain. Like, you actually want some of these people to be killed. Actually, my favorite thing about the movie is that the dog is actually going out and killing douchebags. And it's not scary by any means like that. Everybody that this dog's killing are, like, people that either fired her, like her, somebody who keeps asking for rent, some person that's just bothersome to her, some douchebag that's trying to, get in her pants or something like that. Like, a bunch of these people that die deservingly. Not deservingly, I wouldn't say that, but let's just say in movie perspective, like, nobody's going to care about these characters. They're there to be put on a platter to die, and the audience is supposed to root for them to die. So it's not scary, but you get kind of pleasure, like the sick pleasure of just watching assholes get eaten alive by this small dog, and it feels more like a power fantasy than a horror movie. It's almost like you're like, yeah, go get him, dog. I wish there was some evil monster dog that could just kill all the people that were ruining my life, but it just feels more like a power fantasy than an actual horror movie. It's completely different. It's a completely different thing that I'm rooting for in this movie than a horror movie. It's just weird. But yeah, like, that's about it, you guys. The scares weren't really there. It didn't really feel like a thriller or a tension-building movie. It had the atmosphere of a rom-com, but it wasn't a rom-com. It's about a killer dog that protects our main character. so it's not a scary movie, but it's more like a power fantasy. It's just, the tone and everything is just kind of all over the place. I just didn't know what they were going for when it comes to Good Boy. For God's sake, I don't even know what holiday this is supposed to be for, so, you know, just fuck me, right? Like, I don't know anything. I don't know what they're trying to do about any of this. So I'm gonna go ahead and give Good Boy a C-. It completely deserves that. Nothing less, nothing more. It's just, I could consider just a little below average, because it just doesn't have any tension in it. It doesn't really get my blood flowing at all, you know, not even with the tension building. So there you have it. But if you like my content, you guys, please like, share, comment, subscribe. I'd really like you to share it, because that helps, you know, get my content out there. If you think I deserve it, go ahead and do that for me, just for a little, you know, just to help me out a little bit. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see ya!